things. Crowd was unbelievable. You get there early and you go out like I do, and that place was filled up in the way it was. And I just want to thank all those people. A lot of people came back from a lot of places, and it's as good as it ever is. And it's one thing I do love about the holiday. It's people show up early, and I really appreciated that. I thought we had a couple guys that had unbelievable performances. I thought Aaron Henry had really taken some steps now the last couple games, last couple practices. He's taken some steps forward. I thought Xavier Tillman, we wanted to go into him. They did a pretty good job doubling him, but we did get the ball into him some, and when we did, he scored. Marcus was okay. He was okay. And Foster played very well. Both my point guards struggled on the defensive end, but the offensive end, he played well, and Jack gave us a lift in that little bit of time. That was only the second day that Rocket has practiced in the last 3 weeks, so I was pleased with what he did. The 5 assists. We're trying to tell him to drive the ball a little bit more, and I think Foster has 6 assists, and Rocket has 5, and Aaron Henry has 5, and I think that's really good. But I got to tell you, I was very, very, very disappointed in the last 5 minutes of that game. And you say, why? See, we got some bigs. We're very young, and those bigs got to play. And we're going to go up against one of the biggest teams in the conference next game. So I made a big point in talking about how they have to be physical, run up and down. That was embarrassing, the way they ran us to death. I think they made 8 of their last 11 baskets. They hit 3 out of 3 threes, I think. They had dunks, and I'm not even going to name them, but I'm going to tell you that it's going to be a bad day tomorrow for those bigs, because I am totally disappointed in them. And when I say it that strongly publicly, I mean it. And opportunities to play. I've been a walk-on. I know what it's like. You get an opportunity, you better take the most of that opportunity. And so it's not just that it's the end of the game and you're up 25 and everybody should be able to relax. You should be able to relax. I didn't say one word about one shot. We're jogging up and down the floor, and they were going by us dunking. We're not picking up guys and not talking. And their bigs took ours to the cleaners inside. That is going to end tomorrow. So I look at Christmas as the most important time of the year for me to get my team better. I do think we made some great progress. We had 3 very good practices. We probably played 30-some minutes of damn good basketball. Consider the things we went through again. Cassius's thing, so you all know, is it really was a today decision. It wasn't anything we were hiding. He was in practice 2 days ago, and he just kind of dribbled, stopped, and his knee kind of went like this, and he's got a bone bruise there. There's nothing structurally wrong. He probably could have 80% played. I just had to make a decision that I had to make, and I made it. But it was good for him to be on the bench, and he kind of realized some things that we're complaining about and why we're complaining about him. So I'm hoping he'll be ready to practice tomorrow. I'm hoping he'll be ready to go by, I don't even know what day it is, the Illinois game. Thursday. I can't say I know everything on that, except that it's nothing that we're concerned about for any long range, and I think he would have probably played tonight if I would have let him. I just felt like it wasn't in our best interest, and it wasn't in his best interest. A little rest is going to do him good. So other than that, Kyle Arndt shot the ball a little better. That was encouraging. Gabe was okay. okay. We shot pretty well from the free throw line. We rebounded pretty well, got to the offensive glass a little bit, and then we just started throwing balls at the rim. So that part was disappointing. Turnovers was phenomenal. I think we had 3 at halftime, and I think we had like 6 until the last couple minutes. It's just the lack of understanding that, which probably should be this way, because when you're a freshman or sophomore, you have no clue of what's going on. And so I got to do a better job coaching. My assistants got to do a better job coaching. They got to understand that sometimes you play games and you give guys opportunities because you know what's coming down the road. It was explained to them. I just didn't think we handled it very well. So whatever questions you have, I'll answer.
Tom, you mentioned that Kyle shot the ball well at the 12-10 mark. You kind of showed some excitement when he hit that 3. Is there more to that story? Seeing the ball go through for him?
Very good. Yeah, there is more to the story. We've been talking to him. I had a meeting with every kid over the last 3 days, trying to give them 4 or 5 things I thought they needed to improve on and what I wanted out of them. And Kyle's been on a roller coaster. He's been injured so much, and there's times he gets down on himself, and so I told him he's going to shoot the ball and he's going to make shots tonight. If he doesn't, I'm going to jump him, because instead of just, that's okay, Kyle. That hasn't worked so well. And he agreed. And he had a great practice yesterday. He had a great shoot around today. I don't know how many minutes did Kyle, play?
16.
16. I'd like to get it up to 18, but it was pretty good considering. And I thought he just played a little better. I thought he played pretty good defense. He got a couple rebounds. He used to be one of my best rebounders. When he got hurt, he has not rebounded as well. Tonight he got 3 in that time. So, Marcus got 8. There were some things Marcus did better too, and then he started the second half fumbling every ball. The big problem I have with we have so many young guys, and normally I'm not playing a lot of really young guys, and the lack of focus that guys have nowadays. The only thing they focus in on is Twitter and the gaming stuff. So they're pretty focused on that stuff, and I got to make sure they're focused on what they got to do, because we got some games to win, and this team is good enough. We've been through hell. I've never been through so many things. To have Cassius go down 2 days ago, it was almost like, I guess we're used to it. But we've been through a lot, and yet we got a lot of chances to get better, but there's going to be some young guys who are going to have to play better.
I'm wondering how you thought Rockets do physically after so little practice coming back, and then his point guard playing the second half of it.
I thought he did a pretty good job. He hadn't even played the point, in practice. He hadn't done anything in practice in 3 weeks, to be honest with you. But before that, he was playing a little bit of it. Guarded pretty well. We just got a little confused. We had so many different lineups in there, which I think is bound to happen. And that's why the key word of the night was you got to communicate with each other. Well, unless you put a damn cell phone on their waistband, nobody's communicating with everybody. And that's got to change, because we're going to have some different lineups in there some of the time. And so that was the only thing that frustrated me. But, Rocco was one of the guys. I put him on the plus side of things. Most of our guys, probably most of that game were the guys that I need to get better quickly. I didn't think got a real high grade tonight.
You mentioned with Jack and Foster, point guard, some defensive struggles at times. But the fact that you guys had, I think, 28 assists on 32 buckets with those 2 guys at point guard, and I think they only committed 1 turnover between the 2 of them. What did you see did you see that happen, I guess?
Is this a New Year's resolution, or is this a gift from Santa that now I'm more critical than you guys are? This is kind of a good reverse role. You got any good questions for me too in a minute? Because that was good. Give me something to feel comfortable and good about it. And you're right. You are right. I'm upset about some things, I'll be honest with you, because I know what's coming. And I have a reason to, from what I went through with this last 3-4 days and the meetings I had and what I explained. And guys are going to have to learn to listen and listen to learn. I mean, that's going to be very important here. But when you have 28 assists on 32 baskets, when your point guards, how many did Hoiberg had 6, Rocket had 5, Foster had 6. That's 17 between those 3 guys, and only one of them has played any minutes because Rocket hasn't really. I'm trying to get Rocket to drive the ball a little more because he's so quick, and he looked better doing that. He made some great passes. Get some practice time for him. He's going to be damn good, but we got to get some work done with some other people right now that I'm looking forward to.
Hey Tom, you've been through so much in this early season as you approach the Big Ten season. You've gone through the catch stuff and so many things. How do you, going into the Big Ten season, dealing with everything you have? Do you feel better about things or worse about things? Or?
No, I feel better. I said at Christmas, that in this job you have ups and downs, and public opinions and all the things get to you, and one thing I learned through the Cassius thing from the professional people I talked to was, you can only control the things you can control. And none of us are very good at that. You guys probably aren't either. I'm horrible at it because, we're kind of control freaks. That's why we're in these kind of jobs. But I'm starting to feel more comfortable that I can only control what I can control. The other day when he, hurt the knee a little bit, we kept him out of practice. I didn't go home and cry. I didn't feel bad. I just told him, hey, we'll get you back. And, I have a different perspective. Unfortunately, maybe I needed a slap in the face. We always say that winning and losing is like life or death, and then you realize it's not. At the same time, I got a job to do, and I got to make sure that because I must have said 50 times in a huddle tonight, I told you to do your job, as Bill Belichick says. Well, I told my assistants after, we better do our job too. Our job is to hold them accountable to them doing their job. And that's not an easy thing to do. And there's going to be some roadkill that goes along with that. Okay? But this team is good enough to, all we've been through and all we lost, Kid Foster definitely is playing better, and his confidence is back, Blame me for it, I don't care. I mean, I'm the first one that said last week, it's hard to give guys a chance to play if they're not doing it on one end, and that's kind of what happened with a couple other guys tonight. But Foster, I thought, played very well and looked comfortable, and so now that makes him a better backup for Cassius. Gabe has been playing better. Aaron Henry's the guy that, wasn't playing hard enough. People are blunt and honest about it. And there were a couple of lengthy meetings with him, and I do think in the last 2 weeks he's upped his game. But that's what it is now, you talk to coaches all over the country, and social media ruins the world, as I said. It's not a commercial, it's the truth. And these kids are either hearing how good they are or they're hearing how bad they are, and there's no half pregnant. You're one or the other. And it's hard. It's hard for me at 60, it's hard for them at 20. And so I got to help them, but I do have a job to do too, and it's to hold them accountable to doing their job the right way.
Are you still kind of waiting for definitive voices to emerge? These guys.
It's very good. It's funny because usually when I'm upset about things, everybody thinks I'm insane. And when you ask a question like that, or when you ask one like you're asking a question because you already know the answer. You've already seen. You've judged that nobody grabbed anybody and said, hey, we got 3 guys jogging back, what are we doing? And that's why I said Cassius by me the second half. And that's why I'm on Xavier a little harder. Xavier's got great leadership skills. He just needs to be a little bit more like me, which is starts with an A and ends with an E. He's just got to be a little bit more like that if he's going to take on this team, because every team needs a leader within. I got great guys. I told you about our academics. I mean, during the Cassius situation, those guys were unbelievable, the way they rallied and how they were. But that great guys doesn't win you anything. Great players don't win you anything. Playing great wins you some. And I'm going to make sure that we got to do a little better job of holding some guys accountable that maybe think they're going to play 5 or 10 minutes. Last year, Aaron Henry, at this time, I had a long talk with him. And the talk was about, you're just kind of coasting along, wasting your freshman year. Do some good things, some bad things, You never know. Something could happen. 2 weeks later, Josh goes down. Did we ever think that Cassius, something would happen? Does anybody think something happened with somebody else? And maybe in some ways, this was eye-opening, but our guys got to understand that they better be getting better every day, because we need it, whether we need them for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, somebody gets in foul trouble. Our bigs are better than they played tonight, and I'm talking our 3 or 4, not Xavier. And we're going to get that straight out.
Anything else, guys?
Well, I won't see you till after New Year's, so I hope your New Year's resolution is that we vote Twitter out of the country, get rid of the social media, and I hope you all your dreams and wishes and all the things you hope for, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to have a computer list full of them. I'm going to have so many good New Year's resolutions that are going to be good, and I hope every one of yours comes true. I'm going to make sure some of mine do.